In a world of cause and effect, can the fluttering of a butterfly's wings in Brazil set off a tornado in rural Texas? This idea is known as the butterfly effect, and this concept has both captivated and intrigued scientists, philosophers, and the public alike for decades. In this video, we're going to dive deep into this concept's origins in ancient history, explore some real-world examples, while discussing the implications that this concept has in today's world. This video might just change the way that you view the world around you today. Let's get into it. Our story begins in the early 1960s with Edward Norton Lorenz, who was a meteorologist at MIT. Lorenz was using early computers to map weather patterns to help improve the forecast. Lorenz decided to rerun a weather simulation, but instead of entering the full number of 0.50617, he rounded it to 0.506. To his astonishment, this small change led to a completely different outcome in his weather pattern model. This discovery laid the foundation for what we now call chaos theory and the butterfly effect. At its core, the butterfly effect is about sensitive dependence on its initial conditions. In complex systems and models such as weather, tiny changes in the initial starting conditions can lead to totally different outcomes over time. It's not just about butterflies and tornadoes, it is a fundamental concept that applies to many aspects of our world today. Imagine two identical worlds, one where you decide to hit the snooze button in the morning, and in the other one, you don't. Now, these worlds could diverge dramatically over time or in just a short period of seconds. Now, you could have met a lifelong friend who stays with you forever because you were 5 minutes early to work or school. However, in the other world, that encounter never happens because you didn't get the chance to arrive 5 minutes earlier. It's important to clear up some misconceptions. The butterfly effect does not mean we can predict outcomes from small changes. Instead, it tells us that predictions in complex systems is inherently limited. It's not just about butterflies causing tornadoes on the other side of the world, but instead, it's about unpredictability inside of complex systems over time. Number 1. Weather systems. This is a classic example. Small variations in temperature, humidity, or air pressure can lead to vastly different models of weather prediction over time. This is the reason why long-term weather forecasting is very difficult and often why you can only find weather forecasts for up to a certain amount of days ahead. We can use our Edward Lorenz example that we already talked about. In 1961, he decided to truncate 3 decimal places off of 0.506127. Now, you and me might think that just truncating 3 decimal places is not a big deal, as it is already a very small number, and getting that far down might not change much. However, what he got from his weather prediction model was a totally different result that would have been if he had used the original number. This laid the groundwork for starting to think about how we can't ignore small changes in complex systems. Number 2, economics. In 1992, George Soros made $1 billion by short-selling the British pound. This immediately triggered a chain reaction in the market, and it led to something called Black Wednesday, which forced the UK to remove itself from the European exchange mechanism. This event not only had affected the UK's economy, but had far-reaching events and effects into Europe's monetary policy. This shows how the actions of one investor could cause the entire global finance market to change, reshaping economic policies and affecting millions of people. Number 3, ecology. The reintroduction of wolves to Yellowstone National Park in 1995 had dramatic effects on the environment around. It had far-reaching effects. It changed elk behavior, allowed trees to recover, and also had changed the course of rivers after stabilizing the riverbanks. This is known as trophic cascade. The wolves had reduced the elk population, allowing vegetation to flourish. This in turn attracted more diverse wildlife, had stabilized soil erosion, and had even changed the physical geography of the park. It's a powerful example of how a simple change in an ecosystem can have far reaching and long lasting consequences and effects that play into generations of life that live there. Number 4, technology. In 1976, Ron Wayne sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800. Had he kept it, it would now be worth over $100 billion today. Yeah, you heard me right. $100 billion. This decision not only changed his life, but also altered the scope and course of personal computing. If Wayne had remained with Apple, his input would have changed the company's direction and maybe even changed the course of personal computers, smartphones, accessories, and you know what? Maybe even the entire tech industry. This is a stark reminder of how, especially in settings such as the stock market or investing in general, just a bit more research, or maybe even having more patience or having impatience, could change the course of your life. So maybe next time, try doing a bit more research than just selling your stocks to make a quick buck. Number 5, history. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 is often cited as the initial spark that set off World War One. This single event set off a chain reaction that reshaped global politics. Thank you so much for watching our video today on the butterfly effect and chaos theory. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, please like this video and share it to anyone you think might find this interesting. And please support our channel by doing those, as well as subscribing to the YouTube channel so that we can continue to do our mission of providing free, quality education on the most fascinating topics for free on YouTube. Thank you, and we hope to see you again next week.